morning from beautiful Moscow. Guys, welcome to Russia, the world's largest country, home to over 11 different time zones and over 145 million people. I'm not filming this in the winter time. You guys are probably wondering why I'm wearing a hoodie. At times you're gonna see me covered up like this. Next week is May. Today's high is 6 degrees. Right now it's the morning. It feels like -4. Brr. I didn't expect it to be this cold because I remember looking last week at the weather here in Moscow. It was in the late teens, early 20s. Dude, I can't believe how cold it is now. It's unbelievable. And for this trip, I packed, I think it was 10 t-shirts, and I brought this hoodie because I wear it on the plane for when it gets cold. Now it's the only thing keeping me warm. So maybe we'll go get a hat, maybe some gloves. I'm freezing. I'm double layered. So I'm wearing the t-shirt under this. I'm wearing 2 layers of pants. I bought some thick socks. I saw some ladies selling them close to the metro station yesterday. They always have that over here, close to the metro stations. So I bought some thick socks and still cold. Still cold, guys. It's freezing. So this street over here is a one-way street. Down there is Patriarch Pond. This is where you want to be when you come to Moscow. This street is full of restaurants, coffee shops. At nighttime, especially on the weekends, it gets really busy here. And you see some of the nicest cars on this planet driving over here. And they're not going to drive by once. They're going to drive by 450 times just to impress everyone. I actually thought I would have been questioned a lot when I got here last night, because for those of you that know, I've been to Ukraine before. I didn't want to lie to them, right? Imagine they find out you lied about being in the Ukraine. I was in there for probably 10 minutes maximum. I didn't even go into a special room, just a regular line to show your passport. She was looking at it with this magnifying glass thing. I'm not sure what that was. But besides that, 10 minutes, no problem. Where I came into trouble is at the currency exchange. So I didn't come here with any Russian money. I brought cash. You're supposed to bring foreign cash here, and then you could exchange it at the banks. But I landed so late that all the banks here are closed. So the Canadian dollar is supposed to be $1 is approximately 55 rubles. At the airport, for every Canadian dollar, they're giving you 28 rubles. So I only converted just a little bit to get here. It turns out that the Yandex, so Yandex is the Uber over here. So they have Yandex Maps, they have Yandex like Uber, like taxi. They have Yandex Grocery, they have Yandex everything. You could even hire someone to come help you install something. Like Yandex is a mega player here in Russia. I left the terminal to order it, and it was just about what I had, approximately. I still have about 1,000 rubles left over. Right now it is 9 a.m. Banks don't open for another hour. So let's see what we could get with that 1,000 rubles. Hopefully I could get a coffee, right? Babushka, across the road, babushka. Yeah, it seems like nothing really opens here until 10 a.m. Not like what we're used to, right? 9 a.m. usually everything's open. Look at these dogs. They're twins. I see a coffee place right over here. Hopefully it's not a fancy place. Imagine I walk in there, I order a coffee. I don't have enough rubles for it. That's a nice place. Hello. Hi, my friend. May I please have one Americano?
Anything else?
Can I have one of these too? Mm-hmm. That's a pain chocolat?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'll have one of those. Thank you so much. I just want to make sure I have enough money. How much is it?
It will be 700.
Perfect. We have enough money, guys. I got that right over there.
It will be here or?
Here, for here. The coffee to go, this one for here.
Okay.
Thank you, bro. Look at this beauty. Now it's time to cause a mess. Watch everything just break apart. Thank you, bro. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Nice meeting you. Bye-bye. Nice people here at ABC, what is it called? ABC Coffee? Nice people. When I sat down right away, everyone's like, where are you from? What are you doing here? You like it here? I'm like, yeah, I love it. They were so surprised to see a foreigner. A lot of them, right, when they see me, actually, they don't think I'm a foreigner. Well, like they know I'm not ethnically Russian, but they think I'm from Russia. As I mentioned earlier, Russia has over 190 different types of ethnicities. So they range from every single type of look pretty much. You get obviously a lot of the typical Russian that you think of when you think Russian. And then you have a lot that look Asian. For example, many of them look Mongolian or Kazakh or Uzbek or Tajik. Then there's also a ton of people that look similar to me, which are from the Kafkaz region and Armenia, Azerbaijan, Georgia, those countries. I'm not talking about a population of 100,000, for example. I'm talking millions of people. For Russia standards, that's on the higher side. These restaurants are going to be so busy tonight. It's Friday night. It's going to be rammed. What time is it? 9:45. So the banks will open in 15 minutes. So let me explain to you the money situation here in Russia. So when the special operation started, everything tanked because Russia got cut off from the world. Well, cut off. So their dollar was at its worst. I believe it was about $1 was approximately 100 Russian rubles. Привет. Oh no, not привет. Спасибо. So $1 was approximately 100 rubles. And then what happened is the ruble got stronger. So what happened when Russia got cut off? All the economy stayed inside. So tourism is actually up right now internally. When you're looking for a hotel in Moscow, don't think that every hotel is going to be open and they're all heavily discounted. In Moscow, hotels are freaking expensive. If you want a decent hotel, it's on par with other big cities all around Europe. So back to what I was saying, it reached at its worst approximately 100 rubles for $1. Now that it's getting stronger, right now it's at 75, and it's only getting stronger every day. If you look around Moscow, all you see is construction everywhere. There's a massive boom going on in the economy. A lot of homegrown companies had to innovate fast and be creative fast. People had to think of ways to earn money because a lot of the money was international before. All that money is inside now. So for example, let's say IKEA left. There's a new IKEA now. Somebody made an IKEA or brought an IKEA from another country, which I actually think they did bring another IKEA. I think it's a Belarusian brand, if I'm not mistaken. Let's say Sephora left. Somebody went and made the Russian version of Sephora, and so on and so on. I know, for example, Zara and all those brands, they've pretty much switched names, but all the clothes are very similar, if not the same. This is the situation with many brands right now here in Russia. Let me get my face out of your screen a bit so you guys could get some vibes of what the mornings in Russia look like. So, I forgot to show you guys, we've reached the Kremlin and the Red Square area. That's also, see, it says Four Seasons, this hotel. It's not the official Four Seasons anymore. Four Seasons also pulled out. I don't know, is it referred to as a fake Four Seasons now? It was a Four Seasons. They didn't make a fake one from scratch. What it is though, it's a very famous building. So a lot of celebrities, presidents, I think Muhammad Ali even stayed there. Lots of former presidents, world leaders, they stayed there. It's a very historic building here in Moscow. So right here, we have to cross. So how it works over here, the roads are so big that they have underground passageways to go to the other side of the road. And I believe there's one, yeah, right over there. So we'll go this way, and then we go underground, and then we'll end up right over there. Let's go down here. Hopefully it's warmer. Whew, my hands are frozen. All right, much warmer here. So do I go this way? Let me see. I think I go. So I made a wrong turn. I hope I'm going the right way. Oh look, they have little souvenir shops over here. So these are called matryoshkas. Traditionally, it's a babushka, for example, like this one over here. You open her up, and then there's smaller and smaller ones, and it gets really small. It goes to like that big, for example. And over here, they have different types. Sorry, this is the traditional one over here. And then they have them in all different sizes. And then sometimes they do different ones. This one's an owl. They have a bear. They have a wolf. Very different ones. They even have these eggs over here. Very popular here in Russia. So that's very common in many former USSR countries, where the underground to the metro has a ton of shops. You'll see random stuff, people selling socks, gloves, electronics. Lots of them will sell snacks on the go, bottles of water, little sandwiches, blinchik, all that kind of stuff. Are the signs here in English? English? No. Oh yeah, right over here. Kitai Gorod. Does that mean China something? Kitai? Kitaiski? So no English for this one. Okay, I know where that is. Four Seasons, let's go. So right over here, you'll see General Zhukov. He's on a horse and he has his hand out like this, just like this. General Zhukov was one of the most powerful generals of the Red Army during the Soviet Union. He was the general that stormed Berlin, and that's when the Soviets beat Nazi Germany. If you look closer, you'll even see a swastika under him. It's so funny that so many people have no idea that it was the Red Army that stormed Berlin and pretty much won the war. They also lost, what is it, over 20 million people in the war? So right over here is this little like church place. I don't know what it's called. It's just I call it a small church. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. So people come here and flick a coin over their left shoulder and they make a wish. Right now it's not that busy, but the other time that I've been here, usually there's massive lineups to do it. And it's all in front of here. Oh, he's the priest in there saying a prayer. I didn't want to interrupt. But you guys got an idea of what it looks like inside. Now we're pulling up to St. Basil's Cathedral. Funny enough, talking about Zhukov, May 9th is coming up, so you'll see these decorations behind me. It's all in preparation for May 9th, and there's construction everywhere right now. So they're setting up, I believe these are bleachers if I'm not mistaken. So they take May 9th very serious. That's when they have their major Victory Day parades. And obviously security is heightened from now. Everywhere I look, there's some big dudes over here, big guns, every single corner. So I have to watch where I point my camera. So over there it says 9 and then there's a star, M-A-R. That's basically May in Cyrillic, so May 9th. And then over there it says 1945 to 2006. This stuff is usually not here. This is all in preparation for the Victory Day March. I actually wanted to visit Stalin's mausoleum, but everything is blocked off now. I'm not sure if I can. When I originally went to the gate, I was doing some research on my phone and I pulled up. I look up, there's like 15 guys wearing masks and guns. I'm like, holy shit. So I just turned around. I didn't even ask if I could go in. Maybe I'll go do a circle and I'll come back and I'll ask them. Let me show you this beautiful church, St. Basil's. So St. Basil's was made by Ivan the Terrible. What a name. And basically what happened is, it was after the victory of Kazan that he built this. He thought it was so beautiful that he blinded the main people that helped design it and helped make it. He blinded all of them so they could never make another one ever again. Here you have the famous clock tower, which does go off. I believe it's every half an hour or an hour. And then look, they even put these pictures up now. Look at that. Is that from the original? Yeah, look. What is that? Is that the original Victory Parade? Because I see some of the guys, look over there. They have Nazi flags, but they're pointing downwards. What a beauty she is. It's honestly one of the most beautiful churches in the world. It's so beautiful. The colors, everything about it is nice. I can't feel my hands, so let's go into Goom or Gum. Excuse my pronunciation. It's this really high-end mall over here. Zdravstvuyte. Zdravstvuyte or Privyet. I need to work on that. Zdravstvuyte. I used to always think it was Privyet. Privyet. Hello. But nobody's saying Privyet here. Everyone's saying Zdravstvuyte. Am I saying Zdravstvuyte? That's what everyone's saying. Not really getting a Privyet over here. Come to this beautiful mall. It's very historic. It's iconic here in Moscow. It's probably one of the most beautiful malls. So this is Moscow ice cream. I am contemplating getting it because it does taste really good. Who would have thought that Russia has amazing ice cream? Oh, they have it on this side too. Maybe when my hand just warm up, give me 10 minutes, we'll come back and we'll grab that. But let's see what brands are still here. Let's see if we recognize any of them, because I know a lot of them changed names or they completely left and somebody else took over, like a Russian brand. So some of them rebranded and then some of them are completely gone and a whole different company opened up in their spot. So let's see if we could find anything we know. And if you guys are wondering why it's not so busy right now, well, as I mentioned, it's 10:15 in the morning. This place probably just opened up 15 minutes ago. Look at this place. It's a work of art. Oh, Cartier. Oh, but look, see? So Cartier kept their location, but it seems like they're not selling anything. Let's see. Yeah, nobody's in here. It's empty. But they kept their location. Maybe if somebody could translate this. And then they put a sign up over here. So you might be wondering why they kept their lease, they kept their location, but they're not selling anything. To put it in the simplest forms, they don't want to look bad that they stayed in the Russian market, but the Russian market is too big to lose. So one day, when things blow over, all these companies will come right back in as if nothing happened. And then they'll start selling again and they'll be back in the Russian market. That's why a lot of these stores, for example, the Cartier, or let's see what else we could find, their signs are still here after years, but they're not selling anything. And that's because they know they'll be back. You can't fully leave a market of 145 plus million people. Plus, this 145 million plus people, there's a lot of money here too. I'm not saying every Russian is rich, but there are some mega billionaires in Russia. When Dior left products here, but if you see, it's only on the window. Inside, so behind, there's nothing. Let me see if anyone's inside. Yeah, they left some products here and there. So it's just for display purposes. The store is closed due to technical problems. Sure, buddy. Technical problems. Just for a few years. We'll be back soon though. Oh, it's 3 floors. I didn't notice there was also a top floor over there. All right, let's grab some ice cream. But let's see what flavors they have. So I believe that is 150 rubles. They have pistachio, they have melon, chocolate chips, creme brulee, blueberries. But I think I'm gonna go for the standard vanilla. May I please have one vanilla?
Vanilla.
Vanilla, yeah. Спасибо. Спасибо. And that's how it looks. That is so good. Russian ice cream. Highly recommend. Look at this place. Very nice. Bosco Cafe. Man, I see Bosco everywhere. The Bosco Cafe. I think I saw Bosco stores down there too. Very cool. All right, let's go see what else this mall has to offer. These Bosco Cafe stands are everywhere. Look, so right next to it is Smeg. Where's Smeg from? Is it Italian? I know it's made in China, but I have a feeling it's a European company. Wow, that is such a beautiful fountain. Very nice. I have no idea what these guys are selling. But look at this fountain. Very nice. What a beautiful mall. So I just went to go use the washroom right over here. They charged 80 rubles, which is approximately $1 US. Let's wrap it up at this mall. Let me just show you a couple of these stores. So they have a full-blown Samsung store, all the TVs, refrigerators, phones. They have a Yamaguchi store next to it, and then another Smeg store. When it comes to Russia, not everything you see on the media is true. A lot of it's just for publicity purposes. It's crazy that this mall is over 100 years old. It's still so well maintained. So beautiful. Okay, so I just used the washroom, but I'm walking and look at what I see over here. Historic toilet. What is that? Who cares if they charge us again? You have to see it. What do you mean historical toilet? What's going on down there? I think over here are their fees. Ladies' room, 250 rubles. Bathroom, bathrobe, towels. Oh, you can take a shower here. Men's room. Wow. 250, 100. 200, 250. Спасибо. there has to be more to this. What's the big deal? So you got a whole school toilet, you got a little room over here, you got a bum gun. Man, did I fall for a tourist trap? I for sure just fell for a tourist trap. Things like this happen when you're traveling. It happens to everybody. The washroom I use upstairs for 80 rubles does the same thing. Yeah, it's not as nice as this one, but hey, the toilet flushes and it's really clean. Oh, yeah. It was cold. I wonder if that church is open. Of course. Doner kebab. Doesn't matter what city you go to. A Turkish guy opened up a restaurant there selling some doner. Look at this. Open 24 hours. Look at that doner. That actually looks really good. Merhaba, Türk müsün? My friend, bank nerede?
Çevirir misin? 200 metreden borgandan keyin
This way, okay?
200 metr.
200 meter, okay?
Chap tarafda
Chap?
Balkan Plaza. İçinden giriyorsan 4. katta yani.
Okay.
Girdin 4. kat.
Okay, okay. Rahmat. Thought he was Turkish, but I think he's Uzbek. Sort of the same language. He said go this way, and then he said it'll be on your left-hand side. I need to exchange money because today's Friday. If I don't exchange money today, I'm not sure if banks are open on the weekends here. So I need enough to carry me over, at least until Monday. Look at this, they're making a building right over here. See, it's called Nicole. Luxury Living Redefined. Look at the view some of these units will have. They're gonna have a view of the Kremlin, the Red Square, St. Basil's Church. I could only imagine how much this is gonna cost. A new history for the old city. So I just left the bank. They didn't accept my Canadian pesos, but they accept euros, US dollars, and Chinese RMB. Pretty good rates, almost on par with what it says online. Randomly ended up in this high-end designer mall. Every designer is in here. It's crazy. Tom Ford, look. Tom Ford, everybody's here. Dolce and Gabbana, a boss over here. They have everything. Ferragamo, look. The Dolce and Gabbana shoes. Golden Goose, Palm Angels, Balenciaga, Bottega Veneta. They have everything here. Look, Ferragamo. Here. Here's everyone doing some shopping. Look, Ferragamo. They have everything. Palm Angels even has a stand over here. They have brands that you don't see in too many places. Look, they even have a Chrome Hearts over here. Chrome Hearts. These are some really cool shoes. The center of Moscow, especially around the Kremlin, your maps are completely useless. So for example, I'll be standing here, but it'll say I'm standing somewhere across the road 400 meters away. No matter what application you use, Google, Apple, even their own Yandex maps, it's just jammed in this area. And it makes it so difficult to travel to this area because, for example, if you want to get a taxi, it'll show you and the taxi in two completely different locations, but you'll be standing in front of each other. Man, the security right now is insane. I'm guessing it's because of May 9th and the preparations for it. So you'll see the regular police officers and the regular tourist police, but then randomly you'll see these guys in camouflage and massive guns. A lot of them are wearing masks too. They are pretty intimidating, I'll tell you that. You do not want to mess with those guys. You do not want to mess with them at all. So anyways, back to this beautiful street. At nighttime, this street is so busy. So it's a pedestrian street. All these lights, well, these lights are on right now, but at night it looks much better. It's full of your typical tourist street things. For example, there's a lot of souvenir shops over here. You'll find matryoshkas left and right over here. A lot of historical stuff, as I showed you earlier. There's a couple churches here. The Goom Mall is over there, the historical one that's over 100 years old. Wait till the sun goes down a bit. You won't be able to move here. There'll be street performers, there'll be people selling snacks. It'll be really busy. Lots of people are just hanging out over here every single night. Finally, my first touch of Russian sun. Wow. Makes sense why they're all in Dubai and Thailand and Bali. It's almost May, it's freezing. The crowds are slowly coming in. Looks like I came really early because it wasn't too busy when I first came over here. I see a lot of tour groups too. Like, look at the size of this one. That's a pretty big one. So many people to see where they were going. They were all coming to a supermarket. I guess for lunch, a lot of people come here and grab drinks and snacks. They even serve meals. So if you guys are wondering what a typical Russian supermarket looks like, it's over here. So I would say this is just a normal supermarket. It's not high class by any means, but it's also not on the lower end either. Obviously, being in Russia, you have a massive liquor section. So from what I remember, their own brands are really affordable. You could get Russian vodka for pretty much nothing. See this one over here, Russian flag, 569 rubles, 500. So half a liter. Then have Heineken over here. See Heineken, 5%, 219 rubles. Yeah, this is where it's busy. Look at all this sushi over here. It looks so good. All fresh food. Man, this looks amazing. Look at all this salad over here. Looks so good. Look how busy it is. Sparkling water, 33 rubles and 90 cents. All right, let's go cash out. Looks like it's all self-checkout over here. Problem is, I have cash. Cover here? Oh, I got beat. Спасибо. Спасибо. Bye-bye. All right, let's get out of here. All right, I just did translate, and I'm pretty sure this is it right over here. Does that say Georgian restaurants? Hello.
Слушаю вас, добрый день.
Do you have this one?
Да.
One. And then, do you have compote? One. Спасибо. Washroom. That way? And then that way?
Right.
Oh, okay. Спасибо. Looks so good. This is my first time having this. So for those of you that don't know, Georgian food is very famous, not only around the world, but especially amongst the former USSR countries. You'll see Georgian food everywhere. So I'm assuming I'm supposed to mix this yolk around like that. Let's get a taste now. Wow. That is delicious. I thought it would be weird with an egg yolk in it, but it's actually not bad at all. It complements it really well. And this is compote. Mandatory when you're in this part of the world. This is better than pizza. Oh my god. So much flavor. Place was a 10 out of 10. My god. That pizza, or it's called khachapuri, I don't know what you would call it in English. It reminds me of a pizza, sort of. It was so good. My first time ever having it. So delicious. Now it doesn't matter what city I go to, if I ever see Georgian food, I think I'll try that khachapuri again. Oh yeah, if you guys are wondering how much it was 713 rubles. Not a bad deal at all. Decent amount of food, and you're in the center of Moscow. I'm literally right around the corner from the Red Square. Nah, that can't be real. It's probably just the name of a random store. Look at how cool this restaurant design is. It's called number 13. I have no idea what that says in Cyrillic. Pektopa. It for sure doesn't say Pektopa. Finally no clouds now, but the bad thing is the sun is setting in about an hour. Should we jaywalk or should we wait 3 seconds? Alright, let's go. So we are going to head to Old Arbat Street. It's a very popular walking street here in Moscow. When it comes to store designs and restaurants, they are killing it here in Moscow. Look at this place. It's beautiful. The restaurant game and the beauty game, they take it really seriously here. At least in these areas of Moscow. The standard is really high and the service is also really high. The quality is very good. I've been to a few of these restaurants. It's top notch. So we have to walk this way, cross the road. I believe it's about a 15-minute walk. As you guys could see, traffic is starting now. Friday night here in Moscow. Sun's out too, so it's obviously gonna start getting really busy. Little bit of sun, Russians go crazy. It's been dark the whole day, so it makes sense. Right when it gets a little bit sunny, everyone starts pouring out in the streets. Okay, let's cross over here. So I think we have to go that way. What is this? Who is that in the middle? Man, what a nice little pocket over here. Look at this place. It's so beautiful. Nice park, all these old beautiful buildings all around it. That's a driverless car, right? When it has that thing on top. Okay, let's go this way. So we have to go that way over there. Oh yeah, you guys are probably wondering why I'm not complaining about the cold anymore. Well, my ears and head is still cold, but I went and I bought a sweater to wear under this. So I'm wearing a t-shirt, a sweater, and a hoodie. And my pants are double layered. All I'm missing is a hat and some gloves. So I think I see the street right over here. Let me get away from the street performer. So my whole life, I always thought samovars were a Middle Eastern thing. I can't believe it's Russian. My whole life growing up, we had one in our house. Maybe we'll grab some souvenirs if we see something we like. What is this? I see Chinese, Indian, Arabic. Spasibo. This store actually has everything. There's anime. It has some Liverpool gear over here. Matryoshkas. These famous eggs over here. Let's see what else they have. Oh, sorry. Сколько? Well, I could use one of these right now. Yeah, I just wanted to show you guys inside so you get an idea. There's like 50 of those. The prices actually aren't that bad in those places. You're not getting ripped off. Mind you, you're not paying the cheapest price, but it's still not that bad if you're spending dollars. You guys haven't seen this before, have you? A lot of you haven't. So when Starbucks left the Russian market, it became Stars Coffee. Looks almost the exact same, but I'll leave that for another video. I think I might do another video showing a bunch of these rebranded stores. KFC, McDonald's, Starbucks Coffee. There's a bunch of places. Subway, the sandwich place, it also got rebranded. There's a bunch of places here that I might just put it all in one video for you. Can anybody tell me who the general is? Just came into this place. It's like a mini mall that also looks like a flea market. Really interesting stuff. Wow, look at these. Look at this. Student Council of the USSR. That is so cool. Hello. Привет. Wow, is this original money? 1,000, wow. Is this real USSR money? My friend, original? All original. So original. That is so cool. Look at that. I think I might buy one of these. So this is 10. That's Lenin. I think they all have Lenin on them. This one? No.
Ну, это Россия.
Russia.
Вот Soviet Union.
This one, Soviet Union? Okay, I see. Okay, I see. I think I'll do this one. Soviet, right? Okay, let me do that one. 150? Just one is okay. Spasibo, 1 and 50.
Вот Soviet Union. Вот Soviet Union. Вот Soviet Union.
That is a nice one. Spasibo. We got our own Soviet bill. I'm not even sure what it was called back in the day. Was it called rubles? We're approaching a building right now to my left, right over here. This is one of the Seven Sisters. Basically what the Seven Sisters were 7 buildings that Stalin wanted made. After the World Wars, he saw cities like New York and he wanted to put the Soviet Union on the map. So he said, let's make 7 grand buildings all around Moscow. And that's how the Seven Sisters were made. One of them is, for example, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. One of them was the Hilton Hotel. One of them was Hotel Ukraine. I'm not sure if it's still called Hotel Ukraine or not, but that was the original name. I know there's still a lot of things in Russia that have Ukraine or Kiev on it. So I'm walking up this street over here and I see the US Embassy, the American flag. Look at this. Do you see the Z? The Z is a Russian military symbol, and they put it right there in front of the US Embassy. I always found it so interesting how many G-Wagons and Maybachs are in Moscow. Like, I'm on this random street, just regular buildings over here. Nothing crazy, nothing modern. There's a bunch of G-Wagons here, random Maybachs driving by. I'm just in a regular neighborhood. It's nothing flashy. When it comes to new cars, for example, the new Maybachs and the new Range Rovers, new G-Wagons, there is no short supply here in Russia. Well, sorry, here in Moscow. There's no short supply. I can't speak on the other places of Russia. Finally back in the neighborhood that I'm staying in. So I think I mentioned it earlier, staying in Patriarch's Pond. It's pretty much like it's a hip area. Lots of nice restaurants and cafes. And this is something that I haven't seen before. They lit up this whole building. If I'm not mistaken, this is it's either a restaurant or a coffee shop. It's just a little bit lit up. Just a little bit. I wonder what their electricity bill is. A long day. If you made it to the end, thank you so much, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye from beautiful Moscow, Russia.